think there's really something to be said for making your own decision, living by it, and then accepting all the consequences. Welcome back, guys. Muhammad Tantawi here with another video. You're listening to Dreamer Podcast, and as always, I appreciate you listening. A couple years ago, I made this video about partying. When I'm making these videos, I try to mold it in a way where feelings don't get hurt. Because I don't like my feelings getting hurt. That sucks. I mean, who does? Who likes their feelings being hurt? At some point, you just have to say tough titties and just roll with it. Truthfully, that video I made in 2019, I wasn't as stern on my points as I wanted to be before filming that. I remember thinking about what I wanted to say, but I remember worrying about how I was going to say it. That sucks. Like, that's not it. That's a product of our just social media-esque approval, likes and comments and ESG scores, just everything that has to do with like an approval of some body. And I think that I let that get to me that day. I've worked a lot of years in the service industry. I just got out. And honestly, my exit was kind of terrible because I slowly began to hate it every minute. I began to hate what I was a part of. I began to hate that I was in the middle of this process of getting people intoxicated while they get overpriced alcohol in small little cups. And I never understood people come in, chilling, and they leave happy. And that to me just disgusts me. Why are you leaving happier than you came? Was the food that good? I hope so. But most of the time it had nothing to do with the food. You want to know why? Because no one finishes their food. I began to hate alcohol. I began to hate everything about it. And what I really hated about it was, as a young person who hasn't graduated college yet and doesn't have a career in anything, service is kind of your go-to. You don't have many other options. Learn a trade, but service is a really, really good outlet for young people wanting to make genuine rent-paying money. Unfortunately, though, you're just part of a process that is toxic in nature. You get people drunk, they come in stupid, they leave stupider, they give you money, and you get tipped. You get tipped on being nice, being fake cordial, making sure that they have all their needs tended to. Just glittering up your fake enthusiasm to match who you know is going to pay you a lot. And when someone doesn't tip you, you judge them for it. My exit was pretty harsh, and I don't plan to go back. And that brings me to the bigger point of this video. I'm starting to really hate all intoxicants. Weed, alcohol, coke, shrooms, acid, ecstasy, Adderall. All these things that I keep seeing people my age take. And it looks like they're having so much fun. On the other side of the fence, you look and see the coolest people, the hottest girls, the fattest parties, the best locations, the hippest music. Endless, on and on and on. Just things that you can tell yourself as to why you're the loser for not being a part of that situation. But the truth is, you have to tell yourself, despite what you see, that this isn't what's best for you. And I truly believe that more now in my life than when I made that video in 2019. In 2019, I was thinking to myself, how can I get in that but still be a little bit of me? And eventually that didn't work, and I fell into some very hard times in my life where things just weren't as clear to me, and I wasn't able to make the best decisions for myself. But now, as I sit here in front of this camera talking, in my soul, I wish I could explain to someone that if you dig deep in yourself and do things that you hate and build skills and exercise, not a little bit, not exercise like go walk. That actually irritates the shit out of me. If you're under 25 and you're walking, I hope you're walking back from the gym to your car, because that's the only time you should be walking. Work hard. It's fun. I promise you it's fun. I promise. It is so much fun. once you start doing things that you didn't think you'd be able to do again or able to do, period, it's fun. And from there, when you build healthier habits, you will meet people who believe the same things you believe. Not everyone is getting effed up on Friday nights. Not everyone is having endless promiscuous sex. Not everyone is deluding themselves with constant Instagram reels and TikTok trends and just a fake personality that in the end, if you met them a year from when you were talking to them, they would be a completely different person because their life is dictated by trends they see on a virtual space. It has nothing to do with how they interact with their environment, what they end up liking and disliking, their actual experience in the field. I remember, I was at the gym, and the point I'm going to make here is going to be really precise, so pay attention. I look at this guy doing pull-ups, and he has his thumb tucked in a weird way to where it's not around the finger. It's, if you can see the camera, it's like this. So I do it like this. He had it like this. So if you can imagine, it's just tucked in on the side. Now, this might be the bee's knees. I don't know. But I'm watching him do it, and he's struggling, and he's dying. And I go up to him, and I'm like, if you just wrap your thumb around your two fingers, you just give yourself a better chance because it just connects. I don't know, it just, if you do it in real life, it just gives you a better connection to your whole hand so you can properly pull. You have more power. And he hits me with, but I saw this TikTok video. And I'm like, dude, who's watching TikTok for exercise advice? Another example was in my political science class. The professor asked everyone, where do you get your news? Where do you get your news, politically, culturally, whatever you like? And the majority of hands raised TikTok. I'm like, bro, I don't know where you're supposed to get your articles or your news. But TikTok to me doesn't feel like the right way to do it. And my bigger point about bringing those two examples up that sometimes you need to trust your eyes and instead of the reviews. You ever been to a restaurant, the reviews are kind of terrible, you ended up enjoying yourself? Ever been to a place, the reviews are like a 2.3, a 3.1, and you're like, eh. And you walk in, service was pretty good. It's not bad. I don't know what these people were talking about. Same thing here. Sometimes trust your eyes and experience. I've made countless videos saying that your experience will get you to where you want to be. And that looking up at the sky and aiming for the moon is great. But sometimes it's cool to appreciate the steps that you're building. Because you look down and you realize there's a whole staircase that you've built. And that's amazing. And it makes you think of those people who live off the grid in those homesteads. They cut their own firewood and filter their own water and catch water from the rain. And they grow their crops and they have some chickens, cattle, whatever they got. It kind of reminds you that it is nice that we have the world that we have. We can climb a ladder on the virtual space, climb a ladder in the corporate area, and climb a ladder in sales. You can climb a ladder and you can start your own business. I mean, you can open your own restaurant. I mean, you can do endless things, car washes and laundromats and real estate. Before you do all that, you have to have a sense of what you have to have a sense of how much you value this reality. And I guess it's easier for religious people because they look forward to an afterlife and a judgment day. And they really do pay attention to their actions because those get counted as sins and good deeds. But for someone who's not religious, you have to be able, quantify how much you value this reality, how much you value, how much it would affect you, I guess, when you're 60 and you didn't achieve everything you wanted to achieve. And to me, I found an outlet for me, I found an outlet to not worry about all the things that I will or might not achieve through doing things that are sustainable for me. Staying away from bad substances, staying away from people I feel like are toxic or that are hedonistic, staying away from places that I just get bad vibes from, people that want to suck the energy out of you, people that want to be morally virtuous for no reason. This isn't just a denigration of a party scene. I was in a gender studies class. I remember there was a lot said about how we've built this society, how binary everything is set up. And there was so much said on how America could be better. The Western world is falling short in a number of aspects. But one thing that blew my mind was there was a lot said on the manipulation, control, and the over leveraging of overseas countries, young population doing work for big conglomerates in the US that are paying them a penny on the dollar. Basically taking advantage of poor kids overseas to build products and make products that will be overpriced when they're shipped here. But as these kids were saying this stuff, they were wearing Calvin Klein, and like Michael Kors, like Nike, like Adidas. And I just thought, just for a second, that did anyone go through this diatribe when they were putting on their clothes in the morning? And the point there is that sometimes it's okay to admit that you're part of the problem. So when you do something toxic, or when you're around toxic people, or when you make a decision that just isn't what you would normally want to make, you don't have to say that you don't have to blame the person, and you don't have to blame the situation, and you don't even have to blame yourself. Because truthfully, we're all struggling to maintain the straight path. We're all struggling to get better. It's kind of the norm to fall short. Because if you kept getting better, if you took a test every Friday and you got 100, how would you really quantify how hard you've worked? How hard it was to work? How much you didn't want to continue to work? And we all have a choice to stop, to give up, to enter mediocrity, in a sense that we no longer want to keep looking for new opportunities. We no longer, no matter the situation in front of us, I've been so broke sometimes, and I'm looking at like business ideas on the internet, and it's just like I have no money to spend on any of this, and yet I still think like one day when I do have the money, I'm gonna try. And I hope that most people have that. When I see what most people are doing, it's just people are just trying to get a job and be all right, and whatever their vice is, they just want to keep their vice in check and be able to enjoy themselves. And that scares me a little bit, I guess. Last point. So I recently took a job as a telephone salesman for AT&T. So far, kind of weird. But anyways. There was a survey we were asking people. We were going around saying, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, ma'am. Who's on the $5 bill?" People genuinely did not know. So I had to really step back. And I thought a lot of things. Believe me, I thought some really negative things. First of all, these are voters. Like, these people actually vote. These people have opinions. They have Facebooks. That's all a problem. But the point for this video, and what I want you to take away from that story, is the next time that you question how someone will think of you, how people will think of you, perceive you, receive your message, etc., remember that most people don't know who's on the $5 bill. I hope you took something out of this video, and I hope it made your day better. It's a Sunday afternoon. I just got back from a run. I ate breakfast. I made tacos. And later, I'm about to make some veggie casserole. Between the time I edit this and post it, I hope that no one who's seeking this message fails to find this video. It's been a pleasure you listening to me, and I will see you next time. Dreamer Podcast, Muhammad Tantawi, I'm out.